Hello, St. Mary's parishioners. I just wanted to give a quick updated video about the project, expanding his reach, not only the capital campaign, but also the expansion and the church renovations. When we started with an entire campus plan. This is the way it looks now, with our parking lot full of enough stalls for the capacity we need. And the cemetery here, that's just to orient you, that's the cemetery, the current cemetery. This is the current church area and the existing school. And this is going to be the new area, including the narthex offices there, the lunchroom, the school offices, and then a school parking lot in the north. It'll also feature a new entrance coming in on the north side of the building in order to gain access to that parking lot. It also includes a rim road around the outside, which is something we need for fire safety, for fire trucks to get around. The original entrance will be the same, with one lane coming in under the overpass, and then there'll be two exits for going north and south on Highway 76. So that will be the configuration for the project. There will also be additional parking spaces in the current school parking lot, and hopefully those will be available for a small chapel we have behind the church. Current structure looks now. This is the proposal we sent out for bid. You can see the church here with the old entrance, and then the new part starting right where that firewall is that I'm pointing out, and the new building continuing on from there. So if you take that and you move over to here, you see the continuation of the new parish center. That's the atrium in the beginning, and then of course the main entrance and the parish offices. You can see the main entrance there with the canopy structure over the top for people to be dropped off for Mass underneath the canopy. There's an external view of that finished canopy on the top of the plan there. So our new structure is going to include much of what we had set out to include in the first place. That was parish offices, meeting rooms, a narthex area, and of course a new cafeteria. This is the entrance to the church. You'll see there at the bottom middle of the screen in the dark brown area. Everything on the left in the gray are all offices for the parish. As we move further north, we're going to see the hall and two meeting rooms on the hall in that gray area. Meeting rooms that might be, well, we'll be able to use those also for schoolrooms if the case might warrant that. We can see a warming kitchen that will serve that narthex area, that atrium area, and then a storage room for tables for the cafeteria. The cafeteria will be openable. I don't know if that's a word or not, but you can open it to one large area, or it can be divided in half. You can see the barriers there right down the center. The kitchen is going to have a very large area for serving, for dishwashing, a walk-in cooler and freezer, a toilet, dry storage, office for the lunch program people. Also, as we move north in the campus, we see that there's a hallway that's going to connect the cafeteria to the school. You can see the passage area there. As we move further to the west, we see the office area for the school staff. Much of the school staff will be located, well, in their own classrooms for the teachers, but some of the staff will serve in the offices here in the reception area, and also in the school. We'll show that in a minute. There's also a large vestibule and receiving area for storage. As things come in on that back door, there'll be a garage door on that farther, the most northern part of that storage area. Also, two bathrooms will help serve some of the purpose of the people in the cafeteria. Also, the girls and the boys in the middle school had thought they'd really like a changing area where they don't have to drop their clothes next to the toilets and that stuff. So we put changing areas in along with two showers because a number of parishioners wanted in parish retreats, and that would be required for that to happen, someplace to actually shower. You see the main narthex area, which is sort of like the atrium that we had originally planned. It's going to have a high ceiling. There'll be access in that area to both the warming kitchen you see on the left and also to the bathrooms for the men and the women. A mechanical room will serve for all the mechanical needs in that area, and there is an added meeting room where the gray carpet is there, and also a vesting area. These will be the doors that will gain access to the church after it is renovated, so that is the whole addition. So very excited about that. Moving along to the church area, this is a snapshot of the overall flooring and tile configuration. These are the doors that will gain entry into the church, as we showed before, the vesting area there for the priest and the servers. There'll be two doors. We could have made them bigger, but firewall construction made it necessary to make that only 2 entrances. The baptismal font will be in the center of this 8-sided figure here with the tile floor. That floor will lead all the way up to the sanctuary, as baptism is the beginning of eternal life in us and grace. So that life of grace continues at the altar, which will be here in the narthex, here in the sanctuary, which is why the tile is the same. This area will be full of pews. We'll have a capacity of, I believe, 800 or 900 people. I don't remember what we ended up with, and the confessional will be there on the north. Also, to help alleviate some of the pressures we had with mechanical space in the roof, we developed 2 different mechanical rooms that will help serve the HVAC purposes of the church. One on the left, one on the right. You see they're both gained access. Their access is gained by the outside doors. That means we can make the walls very soundproof, so we don't have to worry about that bleeding into the church. A vestibule currently indoors that go into the current library will supply a place for a hall, a toilet, a chapel, and a working sacristy, which is where all of the things that are needed to prepare for Mass, all of the stuff of Mass is prepared in that sacristy, versus the vesting sacristy in the back. So that's the total configuration of the church. A little 3-dimensional look at the church. These are the doors that go into the church from the atrium or the narthex area. Kind of see a look inside there, an overall view. First thing you see is the baptismal font, which will be quite beautiful, I hope, as it is the beginning of eternal life. It should be. And of course, a little zoom around here where the sanctuary and everything is going to be, the current windows, and some of the roofing structure that we had to put in place in order to get our HVAC above the ceiling. The current entryway of the church is there. It will serve as a usher room, so anything that needs to be stored in there for the ushers or anything more will be there. The ceiling in this area from the baptismal font to the sanctuary will ascend very beautifully. It is on that flat wall that we're going to put that picture of Mary that fell down from the old church, so we'll see that. That last thing you saw was simply a cutout of the area in back of the sanctuary. Quick look inside the window of the 3-dimensional model that we developed, our architect put together. Steve at Blue Design Group is helping us with this, and he decided to make a model, which is very nice. Put a lot of time into that, and I think it's really helpful to display what inside of the church is going to look like. Again, back there you can see the baptismal font. Some of the color schemes for the front of the sanctuary have been proposed. This is what the current proposal looks like. It will ultimately finish what we started with the 3 arches in the front of the church. Now, because we're going to flatten the floor of the church, there won't be a slope in anymore. We've had to elevate the sanctuary 3 steps. And so all of the stuff on the back wall is going to move up a little in proportion to that. The back behind the cross is actually, behind the crucifix, is marble and paint on the other 2. Still considering ideas for what that might look like too, but that's the way we put it out for bid. You can see within the pillars this white marble, which will be integrated into the rest of the pilasters around the church. So we'll see those in a second here. So as you look around the church on some of the lower parts of the ceiling around the outside walls where the windows are, you're going to see that those pilasters, those pillars, with the same type of white marble, and then paint above them to integrate the design of the front of the church, and the Stations of the Cross will be put on those around the outside. So there'll be a little more separation in those stations and allow us to do a little more processing as we do the Stations of the Cross. This is also a cutout of the elevations of the inside of the church, including the ceiling structures. Again, they had to be modified for us to get our HVAC in there and to accommodate all the beams and things we needed to do. So that's a quick snapshot of where we are right now. I want to thank everybody for their donations to the campaign, and also the continued prayers for its success as we continue to implement that campaign here at St. Mary's. So thanks for watching. You can always email me with any questions you have or suggestions. I'll be happy to answer those as to the rationale of why we did certain things. Okay, God bless.